The Via Dolorosa, or Way of Sorrow, draws Christian pilgrims to follow the path Jesus took to his crucifixion through what tradition has defined as 14 stations of the cross. At the first station, we find the Church of the Condemnation and Imposition of the Cross. Within this Franciscan church is the second station, the Church of the Flagellation, where Jesus carries his cross. Station 3 is located next to an Armenian Catholic chapel and represents where Jesus fell under the weight of the cross for the first time. Station 4 marks the place where Jesus meets his mother Mary as she stood by the road. Now we detour through the Muslim quarter under the watchful eye of security. Shopping opportunities abound, but we continue on our mission. Back on the Via Dolorosa, we come to Station 5, which is located at a Franciscan chapel that marks the point where Simon of Cyrene helps Jesus carry the cross. From there, the path would ascend steeply to Calvary, where the crucifixion would take place. So, we detoured again through the Muslim quarter, marveling at the busy, narrow streets and the lively flow of school children. Station 6 brings us to a chapel of the Little Sisters of Jesus. It marks the traditional site of Veronica's house, where she is said to have wiped the sweat from Jesus' face. At Station 7, Jesus fell for a second time, as memorialized on a Roman column housed in this Franciscan chapel. At Station 8, Jesus is remembered for having consoled the women of Jerusalem. In the shadow of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, we find Station 9, where Jesus fell for the third time. Before going into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, we went to its rooftop, where we found an Ethiopian monastery, known as Deir al-Sultan, maintaining their claim to access going back to the 4th century. When we were allowed to look inside their makeshift chapel, we felt we had entered another world. Returning to Via Dolorosa, we found Station 10 unmarked, but said to be located in this inner courtyard of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Tradition tells us this is where Jesus was stripped of his garments. We will find the final 4 stations inside the church, as this marks the location where Jesus was believed to have been crucified and entombed. But let's go in properly through the front entrance. Oops, bad timing. As we learned on the evening news, the press was interviewing the Greek Orthodox Patriarch about a restoration and archaeological excavation project that had just been announced. After 30 years of negotiation, agreement had finally been reached between the various faith communities that jointly administer the church: the Greek, Armenian, and Coptic Orthodox churches, and the Roman Catholic Church. The Christian religion can be complicated. Continuing our Via Dolorosa quest, we find Station 11 in the main Roman Catholic place of worship. A mosaic above the altar depicts Jesus being nailed to the cross within sight of his mother. Station 12 is in the next chapel over, which has been situated by the Greek Orthodox Church directly over the place where Jesus died on the cross. This area was originally a quarry, and the stone you see here represents the Rock of Calvary, located on the hill of Golgotha. Station 13 is the Stone of Anointment, which is where they placed Jesus when he was taken down from the cross. It's thought to be the actual marble slab on which Jesus' body lay, and it attracts a steady stream of the faithful who come to touch the stone and pray. Finally, we come to Station 14, where there's always a line of worshipers who wish to see where Jesus was laid in the tomb. A monumental shrine called the Ethiopian, which means a small house, has been built over the tomb. The tomb itself is what we call the Holy Sepulchre. Going down several levels, we entered a cave where we saw several holes in the rock walls of the type that were used for burials in the time of Jesus. Some say there should be a 15th station of the cross, commemorating Jesus' resurrection. But then we'd have to rename the Via Dolorosa to reflect joy rather than sorrow. I'll leave that to religious scholars to debate as we explore a few of the many chapels and altars that fill this massive basilica. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre was begun in the 4th century A.D. by the Emperor Constantine and has been expanded over the centuries. The dominant architectural influence is Byzantine, characterized by domes and arches. The upcoming restoration and excavation project is a big deal, since nobody really knows what lies beneath the paved floors which have never been excavated. So stay tuned.